Internet! Hello, you absolute lovelies. Let's talk all about it. Welcome to Derry, Chapter 6. This show keeps getting better with each episode. I think 5 and 6 are my two favorite episodes as a pair, but I love that this episode completely switched gears in a way that I wasn't expecting and keeps growing out this world and keeps us invested in the characters outside of Pennywise as well as growing the Pennywise lore. This episode did everything while moving so fast, while doing so much for the greater Stephen King universe story. I love this episode. Going to be diving into full spoilers for this episode 6. If you're new to this page, please hit that subscription bell. I cover movies, I cover TV, I cover comic books. I read about 50 to 70 comics a week, and I review things with that comic book lens, but also do movie and TV in the genre space like this. So I'm recovering this every single week. Hit that subscription if you want to watch more. Also, like this video, helps the algorithm, and most of all, let's have a conversation in the comments below. I want to hear what you think about Welcome to Derry Episode 6. All right, let's dive into it. We ended Episode 5 with that great cliffhanger of our lead guy killing his best friend, his wingman, and the trauma therein. And I remember one of my only critiques from last week was I felt like it didn't make sense. We didn't see a single moment between Leroy and his son, and then I didn't feel like that had enough of a denouement even in episode. I do still think narratively something needed to be in episode 5, but I think it really worked and served episode 6 to have us open with that moment of conflict, to have us open with that, because that really shaped this whole episode. So as much as that kind of dinged 5, it enhanced 6 for me, because this whole episode got to be about family and connection in a really unique way. And I love that that connection of parent to daughter or son is thematically tied to everything, including we did get confirmation on the fan theory of Periwinkle. That is absolutely a terrifying realization. We got to see that Periwinkle was the image in those photos. We got to see her fully dressed at the end there. We got that ominous child sacrifice sequence, that beautiful black and white. All of those moments really served. And that was actually the only Pennywise we got in this episode. And I think narratively that really worked, that Pennywise only appeared as another form in the desk and then as Pennywise in that throwback. Because you can't really put the clown back in the bottle. After we've seen Pennywise fully in 5, doesn't really make sense to not show him because that's what people are going to want, but to do it in a way that is serving his history, his legacy, his lore, and then have him be underground for the whole episode, building to our final 2 episodes next week and the following, I think absolutely works. I also really love that this episode we got to really grow with our core characters without the Pennywise in the present of it all. We've got other terrifying realities like racist cops and people storming this peaceful party. And I really love this kid, Will. Will Hamlin, played by Blake Cameron James. Will is Leroy's son. That kid has so much presence, and I love how cute and earnest and endearing he is to the daughter of the guy that works at the movie, to Ronnie. Ronnie Grogan and Hank Grogan. I love that reuniting scene, and I love that the way Ronnie is being precious and being stubborn, but also respecting her father, and the way that it's so rare to see a parent doting on and appreciating the new guy in her life. Like, there's so many tropes about, like, you know, they hate the new guy. Like, there's a really beautiful moment about him knowing that there is someone to protect his daughter, and I thought that was so incredible, and the situation they're all in is so just horrible, but to find those beautiful moments in that is what makes this show really special. To have that incredible build of the music and that whole sequence and it feeling so alive and how it makes you care about these characters that much more. And I've got a crazy theory. Actually, it's my fiance's crazy theory. She brought this up in the episode. I don't want to take credit for it, but I do want to say it here. She thinks Rich Santo and Marge Truman, what if they're Jack Dylan Grazer's parents? Right? Because we did see Periwinkle in this episode, and the mug on her desk is the mug of the old lady in It Chapter 2. So I didn't even consider how this was going to connect to the, 27 years later, the present, the kids we know, right? Like, I talked about episode 1, how it connects in like the Losers Club kind of way, and these kids, and then it surprised us by killing half of them. I expected that element, right? I didn't think about how there might be people in the show that we know in it, or at least know in a way, because we know that we've got the incredible Shining connection, right? We know we've got Halloran and the Shining world. We know we've got Shawshank, but what if beyond Periwinkle, who I think is the old lady in It Chapter 2 and does have that same mug, I think it's that same woman, what if Marge, who is the one eye that's healing, right? The woman that's going through all this, what if she's afraid because of the events of this that lead her to be a shut-in, and then her and Rich Santo have a kid that's Jack Dylan Grazer? Because I think that would line up. I think that works thematically. I think they kind of look like they could be parents of Jack's. I think that'd be a really cool thing. So Fiance's Theory, wanted to share it before, next week or week 8 when all might be revealed. But I really dug this episode. I think it's tied with last week as my favorite so far. The Leroy Hamlin stuff with him slapping his kid and that pain of everyone in the room. Charlotte trying to handle it and still doing the right thing and helping everyone out. And the way she's been just kind of running things, and that reveal and that emotion and her feeling betrayed by him just wanting to serve the country and just serve. All of that really resonates because we've had these little moments and because we've lived with these characters a bit more. So I'm really curious, the military perspective, because now we've got the military against the dirty, corrupt cops and the racist townfolk and all these things coming to a crux. We've got, obviously, the meltdown that's coming with everything that Dick Halloran's been through. We still don't know what's going to happen with the actual investigation of the entity that is Pennywise. I love seeing Pennywise the Dancing Clown's history and how he took that form and manipulated Periwinkle into thinking that, he's her father and she has to sacrifice these kids. All of this lore really, really works, and how he's able to survive in these gap years. But now I'm curious how the A-plot, which we're going to get back to with the military and, James Remar's General Francis Shaw, like that character in all the discovery, what happens with the Native American tribe, what's going to happen to kick off next week with the racists invading this party and like the military and all the violence that's set to ensue. And all of that really works because it is that beautiful calm before the storm of enjoying Air Force Coke and, having a musical medley and dance and stuff and seeing, cute people fall in love and pairs of people fall in love. So this episode had sets of people falling in love. It had beautiful parental to son and daughter bonds. It had lots of lived in history, and it gave us, again, the fan theory confirmed with Periwinkle, but I also think maybe parents of people in it. I could be completely wrong. It might not be the case, but love to know what you think in the comments below if you think that is a possibility. Would love to know what you thought of this episode overall. I adored it. I think I hit everything. I did like how it opened with the ramifications of last week. I really liked the black and white and the use of color in those with the eyes and the red balloon. I really love that we didn't get too many jump scares. This episode was about living before it gets even more terrifying next week, but the scares were solid, like the desk and like the flashback. I'm really loving how Pennywise is just this ominous force that exists throughout, like the very opening of the episode and then sprinkled throughout. Just lots and lots of really good stuff. I was thinking throughout the episode a number of times, man, Andy Muschietti really captures Americana and makes you feel great and awful simultaneously. Like the people storming the town with guns and shotguns and then panning over the American flag, and then also the end of like what's to come. But also there is all that, drinking Coke and like having a good old time in the 50s and the clothes and the endearing, like it's just, I think people idealize the past, and it's beautiful to see some reality thrown in while still appreciating some of the positive, but also acknowledging a lot of the negative of a time. And to do that with the setting of horror, and to do that in Derry, Maine, and to tie it into the whole Stephen King universe, masterwork of a tapestry of a quilt of horror. So Andy Muschietti, excellent work. Really dug this episode. All these actors, man, just incredible. Cool to see Bill Skarsgård, as the dad, but as, someone besides Pennywise in here, getting to play around, even his little shuffles. That man is having a good old time and playing, getting to see the joy of play. That guy loves playing Pennywise, and it's good to see. So would love to know, again, what you thought of this episode. Would love to know what you thought of this review. Let me know in the comments below. Leave a like on this video. It helps the old algorithm. And subscription bell if you hadn't. You watched this whole review. Clearly you liked some of what I had to say. Hit that subscription bell. I appreciate y'all. I'll see you next Sunday for it. Welcome to Derry Chapter 7, and I'll see you this week for at least a live stream, as well as probably a movie review or two, and then, we start our end-of-year best-ofs soon, and this show will definitely, as long as it's Sixth Landing, make one of my 10 best shows of 2025. We're also going to do movies and comics and lots of other stuff. So, see you soon. What a show. What a time to be enjoying horror and genre content. This show is so good, even without the horror, and that's impressive. All right, bye.